So I'm going to take a deep breath before I say this one, because it's just like, I don't know, I feel very uncomfortable asking the question, even though I wrote about it. But anyway, we're going to go for it, and then we're going to have an enriching conversation. So the question is, if a straight man wants to make love with a transgender woman, does it mean he's gay?
Well, my quick answer is no.
Good. I would agree with you. That's what I said.
Fellas, is it gay to date a trans woman?
Hell yeah! What in the hell do you mean?
Hell yeah! You were born a man.
No comment.
Okay, people. Well, we're back with another video, and this video is going to be a little touchy, so don't cancel me because I'm doing this video, right? And it's funny because there's certain topics where you can't touch anymore, right? You can't just have an honest conversation about things that are confusing without being labeled either transphobic or discriminatory against certain groups. It's just like, what the hell's going on? But it was an interesting conversation going online. Now, you're looking at the Twitter account for my girl, Sav Hernandez. Sav Hernandez, shout out to Sav. Sav says her YouTube channel, she is fantastic. Now, just to be clear, Sav is a conservative. And just because I don't agree with everything Sav says doesn't mean that we can't be friends, and doesn't mean I can't appreciate her work. And that, I think we're missing that right now, right? If someone says, I disagree with something you said, then it's like, oh, you're this, and they'll label you, and then they you can't have a conversation with them anymore. But I think Sav is fantastic, and her interviews are amazing. And I think, and I suggest people just going to check out some of the things that she does on her channel, because she does really good work. But there's been this question going around on the internet, and that question is simple, right? If you're a heterosexual man, or if you're a male, a biological male, and you date a trans woman, does that mean you're gay? And the opposite has also been made, where if you are a biological woman and you date a trans man, does that mean you're a lesbian? So that is kind of the question that's being offered. And everyone seems to be talking about it, but everyone seems to be afraid to kind of confront the question, because it's very confusing. It's very confusing.
Chase, would you rather smash the hottest trans woman in the world or the oldest woman in the world? Honestly, bro, the oldest woman in the world, because then I wouldn't be gay.
You really just want me to just rip you a fucking new one. I swear to God.
Are you like, Chase, how dare you be transphobic?
Yes, actually. What the fuck do you mean? Yes, that was
Because
so
if I
unnecessary.
had sex with a trans woman, I'd be having sex with a biological man, and I don't want to do that.
The question is,
that's not what you said, though. That's fine. If that's
Because
what you
I'd
want
be
to say.
gay if I had sex with a
That's not
biological
gay.
man.
That's not gay.
That's
And
gay.
I don't even care if you're doing this for like whatever, but like shut the fuck up, actually.
I'm doing
You look
it for
like
what
you have a
it-
leader
Hey,
of
why
respect,
don't-
his
why don't-
street
That's too far.
identity.
That's
Why
too
don't
fucking
you why
far.
don't you make me
That's
shut
too
the fuck up? Because I have an opinion that differs from yours.
I'm not gonna be a part of something that's starting to say shit like that.
She's right. I mean, that's really
But
hateful,
she's not. It would technically be homosexual. A trans woman is a biological man.
I want to
Sue me.
meet Chase. Dude, that's mean. I also gotta go.
It's
I gotta
not
go.
fucked up. It's real.
That's
It's
his-
true.
Okay, if you guys want to
It's
respect
factual.
gender identities, that's his though. That's his sexuality.
I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to say that.
Yes, from a biological woman who doesn't even have any trans friends, that was too fucking far. A man of God who doesn't judge a Christian.
So now we saw how crazy that got, right? That was insane. Because let's just keep it real. People want to respect people's lifestyles, and no one wants to make anyone feel less than or unwelcomed in a particular environment. Neither do I. I don't either. And I feel sorry for people who may feel that way, even about this conversation. Now, here is Dr. Veronica Ivy. Now, Dr. Veronica Ivy is one of the foremost leaders in the transgender movement. She teaches, I forget what school she teaches at, but she's also a trans athlete. Now, the issue when it comes to women versus trans women is that you have biology, right? You have what's known as biological women, people who were born women and born with all those women parts. And then you have men who transition, biological men who transition to being women. So there's a distinction between biological women and trans women. But Dr. Ivy is going to explain to us, actually, that's transphobic, and that she, this trans woman, is a biological woman. So listen to her explanation on why she considers herself and all trans women to be actually biological women.
Who born biologically women who will say, but you have an unnatural advantage over me, and that makes the sport unfair. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, there's lots of ways you can respond to that. So the first is the very language of you were born and I'm not biological somehow. Like, I don't think I'm a cyborg. So like this idea that like, oh, you're not a biological woman. Well, I am a woman, that's a fact. I am female, so all my identity records, my racing license, my medical records all say female, right? And I'm pretty sure I'm made of biological stuff. So I'm a biological female as well.
So you heard what Dr. Ivy said. She's a biological woman, right? She's a biological woman, even though she was born a male. And you heard her reasoning. So I don't know if you agree with that or not. I think her reasoning is a little lacking in reality, right? Because I think being a biological man or a biological woman, it's not something that's up for your opinion. It's just really just like, do you have this particular equipment or that particular equipment? But I am not the only person that thinks this. So we've heard one side. But here's the other side. Here is the offensive trend. Now, just so we're all on the same page, he, and I'm using the correct pronouns because if you don't use the correct pronouns on YouTube, you will be struck. And I personally don't mind using the pronouns that people want to use, right? If someone says, call me this, I'll call you this as long as it doesn't, mess with my morals in some way. So this person wants to be called he and Veronica Ivy wants to be called she. I will do that because I just find it silly not to do that, right? It's just a form of respect. So anyway, this is the offensive tranny, and he is a biological woman who's transitioned to being a biological male. Not a biological male, but a male. I'm a trans male. And he is going to explain to us how he feels about the question of if he dates a woman, whether that's a lesbian relationship or whether he would consider that a heterosexual relationship. And the answer, I believe, is going to surprise you.
So in other words, anyone can be a woman, and lesbians should be attracted to everyone. The only problem I have is how we're erasing the term lesbian, erasing the term woman, by broadening the definition so much it means nothing anymore. A lesbian is a woman attracted to other women, and a woman is a biological female, period. It's a gray area when it comes to real and passing transsexual people and then sexuality, because I'm technically a heterosexual because I, as a biological woman, am attracted to biological men. But first of all, no straight guy is attracted to me for obvious reasons. Straight men are not attracted to a deep voice, a beard, a flat operated chest, but generally are not attracted to someone who looks like a young guy. Yes, I have a vagina that they are attracted to, but they would never sleep with me just because of that. That's why I like to divide my sexual orientation just like I divide my gender situation. I'm a biological woman, and I live my life as a man. I'm a biological heterosexual, but I live my life as a gay man. I do this for a very specific reason. I want to stick to facts, what's real and what's not, but I also want this whole thing to make sense in the real world, in every single social situation. And socially, I do consider myself gay.
So now, interestingly enough, this biological woman presents as a male, but dates men. So this person is saying that when I date men, that's technically a heterosexual relationship. Even though I look like this, I have biological woman parts. So that makes that relationship a heterosexual relationship. But in social practice, I look like a man and they are attracted to men. So socially, we're considered to be gay. But in reality, the relationship is heterosexual. So as you can see, even within the trans community, it's confusing. And they even don't have a consistency within the way of thinking. On one end, you have one person saying, hey, I'm a biological woman, full stop. And the other one is saying, no, there's a lot of nuance in here, right? I'm a biological woman who just happens to want to date men. And in those relationships, socially, they may look gay, right? Because I look like a guy. But in reality, they are really heterosexual relationships because I have all the women's parts. That's what defines a heterosexual relationship. Now, let me know what you feel in the comment section about this topic. Personally, the labels, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how do you label certain relationships. And as you can see, there's so many videos about labeling this relationship. And it goes both ways, right? If you're a biological male who's dating a trans woman who happens to be a biological man also, does that make that person gay? What happens if we have the reverse? What happens if we have a gay man who's biologically a gay man who now dates a trans man who happens to be a biological woman. Does that make that a heterosexual relationship? Right? There's so many nuances here that, I don't think there's a simple answer. I do believe that the offensive tranny has a very good point where you can kind of separate the two, right? Socially, yes, I consider myself gay, but in reality, this is a heterosexual relationship because I'm a biological female and my partner is a biological male. So there is this distinction between what socially we want to portray versus what the reality of the situation is. And I think that's the part that's getting everybody caught up now, right? What we want people to identify as and what people want to identify their relationship as versus technically what that relationship would be identified as under current, understanding of words. Now, one important thing, if you made it to this part of the video, don't forget to click that subscribe button. We publish about 5 to 10 videos a week about interesting topics like this, and we try to look at it from both perspectives, both the people who are advocating for one position and the side that's advocating against that position, and then try to figure out the facts and let you make the decision. So if you kind of like this type of content, let me know. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace.